Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host, Caliban. Are you ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this.
I think we have to be ready for this, don't we? Like, I feel like doing the 80s song. Are you ready for this?
Welcome to Sailor Jock Jams.
Okay, all right.
Sailor Jock.
That sounds so wrong. We're a couple of magical people ready to moon prison power make up this episode. Sailor Noob is a part of the Just Enough Trope Network. So today we are talking about episode number 27. Ami-chan e no koi, Mirai Yochi no Shonen in Japanese, or Crushing on Ami, the boy who can see the future, the English translation, and the English title, Mercury's Mental Match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not bad
80s.
for the title.
Get ready for this. It's from the 90s.
Is it?
It's Too Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
all
80s.
Right. Sorry.
Sorry. Not Jock Jams. Sailor Noob. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's
okay,
fine.
it's not great. Well,
You got 4 characters.
Yeah.
When's Luna gonna get an episode?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Just meow, 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 meow.
Listen to
Talking
me.
to other cats. She's the only cat that can talk. She's around a bunch of other cats that can't talk.
Right.
That's what it is.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll get to see more of the arcade and her like talking to whoever is on the other end.
Right. Don't do the thing where you pretend like you're just, I'm just talking about stuff, but you're actually revealing things
I'm
that
not
will happen
revealing anything
in the future. You are. You
I'm
absolutely
not.
are. So Ami can have her own episode. Why not?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
I think that the Scouts should have their own episodes. I think it makes it more interesting.
As has just been established. The
Yeah.
most important thing, though, is a whole new opening.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A brand new opening, same song,
Yes.
new opening at the beginning.
Yeah.
Lots of
All new
things
animation.
going around, new images.
Yep.
Leaning heavily on the sort of starry night castle that we've seen. I mean, it's in all the iconography of the show,
Yes.
whether you watch it or not, but
Right.
we're leaning heavily on that. And there's a lot of
Yes.
interesting images, the Taj Mahal-esque
Yeah.
kind of castle.
Yeah.
Let's cut right to it.
Let's do it.
We see Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter, and a new girl. Who is this bitch?
Whoa. Are you? You're not really asking me. You don't want me to say anything. You don't want me to reveal anything. But I think
I don't want the producers of the show to reveal anything. We got this hot, spicy new intro. Check it out. It's like, should this be for like 5 or 6 episodes down the line?
Right. Why are we doing this now?
Let's do it now. We'll have the locket.
I know.
We'll have the moonstick glow, 7 different colors. I feel like this new opening is opening us up to potential spoilers for developments in the show.
I would not disagree.
So if we had scheduled where does Cal think this is going, it's been canceled. Like every event in 2020.
Oh no.
Because I feel like the opening is like pushing us in certain directions here.
Yes.
Now you're doing it.
What?
I didn't give anything away.
I feel like I'm not giving anything away.
If you were a stranger, maybe you would
Whoa.
give nothing away. But I know you too well for you
Okay.
to not give anything away. But anyway,
All right.
they're so confident, nothing can stop us. Uzagi says
Yes.
in her little thing at the beginning, which is it has grown more and more confident as the show has developed and as she has developed as a superhero. And so
Yes, and
that's
as a leader.
where we find ourselves. Yeah, as
Yes.
the leader of
Yeah.
the Sailor Scouts now.
Yeah. And I think Luna had mentioned that in some of our most recent episodes as well. You know, like
Well, we'll
giving her the moon stick and everything.
This is
more
her
responsibility.
Yeah, this is her ploy to get more responsibility out of Usagi. You treat people how you
yes.
want them to act.
Absolutely.
That's her
Absolutely.
leadership style.
Yeah.
Because she's pawing through a little book by Zig Ziglar on
Oh my gosh.
winning friends and influencing sailors.
Would you like to give a brief breakdown of the episode?
I don't know if it's going to be brief, but
Okay.
I'll do my best.
I know there's
to
a lot
introduce
going
us
on.
to this new era of the show here. So we start in the Dark Kingdom. Beryl is filling us all in, kind of doing the expository speech, talking to Zoe and Kunzite and saying, all right, look, we got to get the 7 crystals to get the 1 crystal. And she actually says, like, during this talk, she's like, I'm sure you already know this. So this is clearly just for the audience.
This
to
is
catch
for
the
review.
audience up. Yeah.
I love how you've just shortened her name to Zoe too. Like, I mean, I
His
know
name?
his name. Sorry, his name to Zoe. I mean,
He's my
I
boy
think,
Zoe.
I think,
I'm a Zoe boy.
he says Zoe with a black crystal. So.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, all right. Anyways, continue.
I'm sure you already know this. If you'd said that, then it would have been a joke.
Okay.
And I've got some advice for Beryl. Stop eliminating your generals. You know, more hands make light work. But
Yes.
you're getting down here to just a few employees before you have to start reaching into the cocktail parties. So she says, all right, here's the deal. Here's the score. I'm sure you already know this. We've got one. We lost the other. And so we got to get this next one. And Kunzite says, don't worry. Tuxedo Mask has the other one, but he'll show up again to find these other ones, and we'll just bag him when he shows up to do that.
Yeah, right.
Beryl says, great, and we needed them to awaken our great ruler. I'm sure you already know this. We cut to a construction site in Tokyo. It's just like 50% of all locations in cartoons have to be construction sites. There's men at work, and Ami is walking by herself, and she's approached by Urawa. Did I say that right? Urawa.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, a boy she goes to school with. He's looking at her. He's a couple steps away, and he looks concerned suddenly, and she asks him, what's wrong? And just as that's happening, a girder falls from a crane high up and smashes a truck right by Ami, almost hitting her.
Yes.
So she's smart, and now she's going to be rich with all the money that she gets from suing the construction company, I assume. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
And so 2 construction workers run up to her, presumably to see if she's okay, and not hoot at her, which is weird.
Yeah.
And Ami turns to see that Urawa is gone.
Yes.
Meanwhile, at Juban Jr., everybody's checking out their test scores. They took this big test, and Usagi did not do well. I don't know how many kids are in her class, but it could not be much more than 203, which was her rank on the test.
Yeah.
Mako is also there. She doesn't watch the show because she tells Usagi, oh, you should probably study more. But back off, Beanpole. Turns out that she was placed at 201 on the test. So womp womp.
Yep.
And it turns out that
really great.
Rio Urawa scored the highest in the class at number 1, with Ami coming in right behind at number 2. Mm-hmm. And Usagi asks Ami, hey, how does it feel to be salutatorian?
Uh-huh.
And Ami says, well, I guess I didn't study hard enough.
I know her answer to everything.
Should we check her for self-harm? She wears short-sleeve shirts. We should look at this.
Oh,
I
man.
think she works a little too hard.
Yeah, she does.
And Mako says, isn't Urawa in your class? Because, again, it was a while back since we went through how Japanese schools work, but they're all the same age, but they're in different classes.
The same school, but they're in different classrooms. Yeah.
Ami says, yeah, I know him. He just moved here, and there he is. And Urawa was like, yoink, I gotta get out of here. Later on the roof, of course, another setting,
anime.
25% of Japanese school shows.
Yeah.
Urawa's on the roof. He flashes back to the summer mock exam that he took, and he was very nervous, but he was sitting next to Ami, and she said, chill out, don't worry about it. And it's a nice moment between them, which is shattered when Usagi runs in and screams, I knew that you liked Ami! And it turns out that Urawa has a clipping of the article that we saw back in episode 8, when Ami was introduced and got first place in the nation on the whatever thing it was.
The exam that was that at that time.
Continuity.
Yes.
He says, no, it's not like that. I just want to be as good as her. But he doesn't think that he's quite there yet. And he says that they're looking down at Ami in the schoolyard playing ball. And he says, it doesn't matter how I feel because, oh, never mind. And Usagi is oblivious to this obvious hook for future conflict, and she's like, I'll help you score with her.
Yeah, right.
Let's go. La, 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 la. And as she's running off,
super easy,
he's like, Usagi, be careful with water today. And just as he says that, a janitor throws a bucket of water off of a higher roof somehow. I don't know. But anyway, it gets on Usagi. She gets all wet. Womp womp. This guy This is no Christopher Walken.
No, his timing's a little off.
No.
Could be better.
No, as far as psychics go, yeah. We're in the mostly dead zone here. That night, Mamoru and Rei are on a date. This is still happening somehow.
Yeah, I know, right?
And he's still fixated on his actual problems, like the fact that he randomly turns into a flower-throwing dandy against his will.
Yes.
But Rei wants his attention. And they pass by a cafe where Usagi is hanging out with Urawa, and she gives him a picture of Ami, which... this is how shrines start, but okay. Inside her bag, the moonstick is flashing, and oh my god, Luna's there too. This is one of those things. We don't see like Usagi walk in with her. Just she was in the booth, I guess, with her. Maybe it's a cat cafe. Maybe.
Maybe.
And they're drinking a green drink, which growing up in America, I would think is like a green river or something you get in a 50s diner, but knowing it's Japan, it's definitely melon flavored.
Absolutely.
Has to be.
Yes.
He says, thanks for the picture. She says, when are you going to tell her how you feel? And he says that he decided that he couldn't tell her until he beat her in academics, which is like a weird intellectual Red Sonja thing. Or something?
Yeah.
It seems kind of sexist.
Right. He has to best her at what she's really good at, and then he can somehow, divulge his feelings. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
anyway,
weird.
Usagi says, well, you're all ready to go. You already beat her, so
Right.
I'll bring her to you after cram school is over, which is about 5 minutes. La, 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 la. She runs off again.
She likes
having
playing
a lot of
matchmaker.
fun. A lot of fun this episode, making matches.
Yeah.
And she runs out, and there's a great bit where he looks at Ami's picture in one hand, but as he's bringing it into the frame, his other hand... The bill drops out of the frame, implying that she stuck him with the check.
Yes. Yeah, I think she did.
It's just a great little visual storytelling bit. In the Dark Kingdom, remember that? Zoe is spying on Urawa, saying, he's one of the 7 monsters, because of course he is.
Of course. This is how this works.
Here's my question. All the human youma have superpowers, it seems.
It does seem that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are all psychic or have some abilities that are connected to, presumably, their monster nature.
Yes.
So there you go.
We don't really know what the priest's power was, except maybe it was boxing.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, yeah, or exercising people.
Or just
I remember
being
in
really
the
great
dialogue.
priest.
Well, if you want to talk about it, I mean, in the dialogue, I feel like the dialogue was weird because he seemed to have knowledge of her situation.
Actual life.
Like, I don't think he said Umino or Nephrite or anything like that specifically, but he immediately seemed to be like, you've got to let him go or something like that. And it's like, how do you know what I'm talking about? And they never really hit the gas on it.
Yeah,
but
I suppose you're
it would
right.
make him a better counselor and priest, probably.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. I like your insights on that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Outside the cram school, Luna is about to tell Usagi about Urawa and the moonstick, but Ami gets out of school just then, and Usagi whisks her off to see Urawa. Urawa is walking down the street, and he hears a peal of effeminate laughter, and he looks up to see Zoe Sight sitting on a building. Everybody's on top of a building this week.
Yeah.
And Urawa is immediately like, you're Zoe Sight. And Zoe's like, what? What's going on?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And Urawa says, ever since I was a boy, I could see the future, and I know my true identity, what I really am. And Zoe says, great, let's get this thing started. Become a demon.
Right.
And Urawa says, I'd rather die than become a demon. And before he can charge Zoe and lay one on him, Zoe's him to the ground and hauls out the black crystal. Just then, Ami and Usagi round the corner and see Zoe Sight. So it's transform time, and they both get full transformations. Mm-hmm. And Urawa is getting the biz. He's getting the biz from the black crystal. He's about to turn into a youma, but the girls say, we're here to punish you. And Zoe just grabs the crystal and stops the transformation. Youmas interruptus. And Moon tells Mercury, get that kid out of here.
Right.
She's pretty brave this episode. She's feeling it.
Taking charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Zoe is like, all right, I'm not going to waste time on this. I know the odds here. So he disappears.
Mm-hmm.
A block away, Ami has taken Urawa to a park, and she is tending to him, doing that like a cloth on the forehead will fix anything
Right.
in Japan, right?
Yeah.
And he says, thank you, Mizuno-san.
Right.
What?
Right. Yeah.
Moon and Luna are in another part of town racing to find Ami and Urawa. I guess she didn't say which park to take them to. And Luna says, you can use the moonstick to find them. It detects rainbow crystal monsters.
Right.
And Usagi's like, Urawa's a rainbow crystal monster? All right,
It's like, Usagi, we're
a little behind here.
Yeah, right. Little dumb bunny action here.
It's fair cop. This is maybe what Dumb Bunny 4, I think. Usagi has not been paying attention.
No.
She's been proactive in getting Urawa and Ami together.
Yes.
But she was brave to face down Zoisite on her own. She was going to fight him until he took off. In the park, Urawa is still got diarrhea raging inside of him like a storm. And he has a vision which, yikes. He sees himself as a scissor-handed monster. No, not Johnny Depp. And he attacks Mercury and rips her clothes off.
Yeah, I know. It's a little like, what is happening? Why is this happening?
I would love to know what they did with this on the American
I think
Viz.
they just cut it out. Okay. Honestly. Yeah.
But it's the whole, we're going to get to this, but it's the whole reason. Well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
In the real world, Mercury sees that he has a picture of her and he wakes up and he says that he had this dream. He's been having this dream. It's a vision of the future. Also, he's a dirty cheater. Because he can see the answers to the test.
Yeah, that's how he did well.
So now we flip the Red Sonja thing. It's not that he wants to best her. It's that he knows he wants to be as smart as she is.
Yeah.
And he knows he will be if he can,
study hard enough.
Yeah, and get comparable scores to her test scores without using his cheaty powers.
Yeah.
Anyway, he says
get taken away once the crystal is removed, I believe.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
He says he is afraid that it's his destiny to fight her. And she's like, oh, you're probably wrong about that. Just like you're wrong about how you think that I'm Ami. We got to work with these girls. And we don't do this too much. We got to practice defending your secret identity. You got to get better bits than this.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, Urawa's like, okay, sure. Say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how terrible would you say your clothes are?
Oh, my goodness.
But look, if I become a monster, just kill me. Just kill me right out. And Ami says, hey, you don't give up. You got to create your own fate. It's 1993. You've seen Terminator 2, which came out in 1992. Sarah Connor, this thing.
Right.
Zoisite appears, and he would totally be slow clapping, but he's got to hold the black crystal. So
right.
Yeah. But he's like, oh, so cute, but it's die time. And he unleashes the black crystal on Urawa, drawing the yellow rainbow crystal and transforming him into Bunbu.
Yeah.
Bunbu is like a Roman gladiator fishman guy. I don't know what else to say. Or he looks like one of the late stage He-Man figures when they were totally out of ideas.
See that. Yeah.
He's got Swiss Army knife hands.
Yeah.
And now the boxing thing kind of makes sense in that I don't think there's necessarily any sense. I think that they, how you before you go out, you look in the mirror, turn around, first thing catches your eye, get rid of that.
Sure.
Too much accessorizing.
Yeah.
They turn the thing around and they go, let's add 2 things, I think. And so it's wings, or it's, let's make him a fish, or he's got, what do his scissory hands have to do with anything? Nothing I can think of. So we end up with,
we'll get to that.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, there you go. GameSen kind of made sense because he was a video game man, and this guy plays arcade games, but I don't know why Fishman Gladiator. But his gimmick is Swiss Army knife hands. That's his gimmick.
Yes.
So his hands come out, scissors, blades, toothpick, the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
He starts stalking towards Ami when we hear her words again, inside his mind, that we make our own fates. And he stabs with his blades into the ground right in front of Ami, before her feet.
Yes.
Then he leaps over her and tackles Zoisite.
Which is
we got
cool.
some Youma on Dark Kingdom guy action here.
Yeah.
Zoe Boy drops the rainbow crystal immediately, and Ami catches it. And Zoe's like, whoa, no, you work for me. Get that crystal, and he hits him with some more black crystal waves, making him grow even larger. So we've got a huge gladiator, fishman guy, Swiss Army knife. What is this show?
I know.
It looks bad for Ami, but the theme begins playing.
Yep.
Sailor Moon and her cat are here to kick your ass. And she's like, you're a coward, Zoisite. I'm going to get to you. First thing, moon healing escalation.
Yes.
Except, nope, that did seem a little easy, I guess.
Yeah.
Luna says, no, he's too jacked up right now on black crystal juice. You got to beat on him a bit before the stick is going to work.
Yes.
Wow. So I wish we had 2 more sailors to help out with this. Bunbu shoots blades out of his mouth, which is on theme, I guess. And Ami is like, I guess we got to fight him. So he's shooting these blades, razor blades out of his mouth, and he's firing things out of his hands.
Yes.
His tools and everything. It looks bad. But how about those 2 more sailors? We got a Fire Soul and a Shoe Cream Sundae.
Yep.
Mars and Jupiter destroy the blades. Ami blinds him with the bubble spray, Sailor Moon hits him with the Moon Tiara action, but it goes like on his head.
Yes, I do like this.
This is the thing where
a nice little.
Everybody's got one thing, and she's got everything. Like her powers just do whatever. It's like when her dango balls or whatever.
Yes, we're lighting up.
Yeah, like,
and she was hearing Naru screaming. Yeah.
Yeah, it just does whatever we need it to. So in this case, the Moon Tiara plops onto his head, and it shrinks him back down to regular size. Then we get the moon healing escalation, refresh, and we've got Urawa back.
Yes.
And Zoe's not happy, but he's a coward, so he runs away.
Yep.
And we pan out, and we see that Tuxedo Mask has been watching this the entire time.
Yes.
And he turns and walks off. It reminds me of the meme. My job here is done. You didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything. Well, I think he was waiting to get the rainbow crystal, but
he's
Ami
like, too many
that.
sailors. Yeah. He says the sailors have crystal number 3.
Yeah.
But I'll just retire for today.
Right, exactly.
Next day at the train station, Urawa is leaving. He's got transfer schools.
Yeah.
But he gives Ami her picture back, and he says that once my grades are high enough, I'll be back for that picture. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, just take this picture.
I like this one better.
Yeah, this one is me about to just house a hamburger.
Yes.
But take this one. This is a school picture instead.
Yeah, exactly.
And she tells him that grades aren't important.
Which is
right.
You don't really feel that way, Ami. What's the message here?
So this is a question that I had, and you had alluded to it. You think that their powers are gone now, like Crane Master Joe.
I do.
He can't crane no more.
Well, he can, but he can't use like his hand to get the magic animals.
But as far as we could see, that's the only way he ever won.
Yes, I think that they are gone once the crystal is removed, because I think it's the crystal, it's the youma within inside you. That's what gives you your special power. So I think Urawa, he I don't think he can see into the future and see the test scores anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's at least you're free of being a monster inside, but
right.
Having a cool power is nice too.
It is. So.
And we're also treated to a new ending song.
Yes.
And new ending visuals.
Yes.
The song is called Princess Moon, and we see somebody looks a lot like Sailor Moon in a white dress dancing in front of a mirror, presumably. I mean, it seems like a window, and I'm just guessing it's a mirror.
Yeah.
It's, Moon, Purin Sesu.
Yes.
And some of the lyrics say, around and round the moon merry-go-round, changing into the slightly cool dress of pearl. Always there, watching over it all, Moon Princess.
I like the slightly dress of pearl. I think that's a nice little line there.
In the day, it's the scent of flowers. At night, it's the shining of the stars. The day, it's flowers. Night, it's the shining stars.
Oh my God.
She puts on the white slippers, crosses the bridge to the white moon, dreaming of that sweet kiss.
All right.
You're being very careful, aren't you?
Well,
I sense you being very careful.
Yes. It's very sweet.
Offer your prayers to the moon. And someday it will bring you happiness, around and round, changing into sweet lace, ringing the bell of the white moon.
Okay.
That's Moon, Parensetsu.
Parensetsu.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's
I like it. Yes. I'm going to not say anything because I think that's probably best. Because I have found with experience that I feel like I'm not really saying anything.
Are you bad or am I good?
Things. I don't know. Could be both.
A little both?
Could be both.
How much of both? What angle is this
this
teeter-totter at?
I don't know. How do I answer that?
Hey, Trekkies, I'm Caliban.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
And we're the hosts of the new podcast, Backtrekking. I thought that we were going to say it together.
Oh, Backtrekking. Do you want to do it again?
Just don't worry about it. Every week, we look at the real-life inspirations behind classic Star Trek episodes.
The original series, Next Gen, DS9, Voyager, and more. And we're examining the actual events, stories, and concepts that they're based on.
Join us as we go trekking through sci-fi history.
You know, we have a time machine. Let's go back and do the intro again.
Hey, Trekkies, I'm Caliban.
Backtrekking!
God damn it!
Urawa Kiyomiru, curiously looking around, we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode. I thought we could talk about higher education in Japan, as there is a lot of testing in this episode.
I want to know about mock tests.
Yeah.
Is it like a summer school? Because summer school can count for grades, right? You're not just...
Yeah.
But it seems like they were at like a SAT practice, PSAT.
So there are entrance exams for colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you might think similarly to SATs or ACTs in the States. However, they carry much more weight in Japan than they do in the States.
They don't carry no weight here.
Well, I know.
Actually, I don't even know that I went to college so long ago, but I got a scholarship based specifically on my
your score,
ACT score. But I don't. I assume that they still.
Well, they do, but like, you can retake the SAT or the ACT multiple times a year. Something about Japan too. Another reason why it's so difficult to get into the school of your choice is these exams are only offered once a year, so they're only offered in the spring. So you'll have one chance, your senior year, to get into the school you want to get into. And so there is an overarching exam. I think it's to get into universities, and then other separate schools have their own exams to get into that specific school.
Okay. Testing is BS.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we all know that, right?
Yeah. What they don't look at a whole lot is like your grade average or, like your extracurricular activities and that sort of thing.
They don't look at that?
It's not weighted as much.
So they're even farther into, because, and just, this is coming from somebody who I never really studied. I was not a good studier, but I was a great test taker.
Sure.
And so I aced a lot of tests and, that got me pretty far. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think that it doesn't prove anything necessarily. It
proves that you're good at taking
It proves that you can remember something that somebody told you
on
Monday.
Right.
But you can design a test to, reward more interpretive, people interpreting data, and applying
like
it more than
essays
just
and that sort of thing.
Yeah, essays, but also, depends on, there's a certain level, look at me now, I'm an admissions officer, but like there's a certain level of like competency you want somebody to have with composition and expressing themselves.
Right.
But I don't, if a future organic chemist can't put a good essay together, how much am I going to care about that?
Right.
Sure, they're going to publish things, and so they need to like be able to organize a paper, but...
Yes.
As far as like an essay goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
My form.
Yeah.
My senior form.
I think it's interesting.
I got a 5 on the AP test, by the way.
Okay. Well, there you go. I really struggled with standardized testing, and I actually took a course on taking SATs and ACTs to get a better score and scored better after taking the course.
I took it once.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So
Japan.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. So higher education in Japan is, there are 4 different kinds of institutions that you can go to. You can go to a junior college, which is called, Tanki Daigaku. Universities, Daigaku, that's universities and colleges. They don't really differentiate, between the two. Colleges of technology and community colleges, which are called, Senshu Gakko, and special training schools.
Senshu Gakko.
Yeah.
Which one is important? Which one is community?
Which one is community? Like community college?
What if I wanted to...
probably Senshu Gakko, probably.
Yeah, but what if I wanted to remake community?
Oh, boy.
In Japan.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was a lawyer.
Right. I think it would be Senshu Gakko for sure. So of those 4 different types of schools, only junior colleges and universities are regarded to be post-secondary teaching like they're regarded higher.
Would Troy be Korean then?
Oh boy, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe.
Sorry.
You're just trying to figure it all out.
I think I don't want to hear about school.
You're like, I don't care about
No,
this.
go ahead.
So the entrance exams that they need to take are called Nyugako Shiken. So most of a senior high school students' year is focused and committed to studying, to doing well on this exam.
So the last year of college is
the last year of
high school is college prep, and the prep is you got to take this test.
Yeah, exactly. So like practice exams and like that sort of thing.
Huh, interesting.
I
don't like it.
No. It's very intense.
Although I will say, sorry, I'll interrupt you again.
It's okay.
Although I will say that, I had a full schedule up until graduation, but many people that I knew and some of my friends, it's your senior year. Like there's a couple senior level classes you have to complete, but everything else is just, I've already
not a big deal.
Got all the math I need or whatever. And so, yeah.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't think that's the case.
But still, just like, basically you're just 11th grade. Congratulations, you're out of high school. Now come back for a year of studying for this test.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, and so, we've mentioned before, like, Ami goes to cram school, which is a juku. And that's mainly for studying to get into high school, because they have high school entrance exams as well. They're in junior high. The lead. Yeah. And there are, okay, I can't find it in my notes right now, but there are similar schools. I'll tell you what the term is, once we get there, but,
sure.
That, help students in high school study for, the entrance exams into getting into university.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. So students applying to national or other public universities, well, I already mentioned this, they take 2 exams. Then the overall exam, the National Uniform Achievement Exam, is called the Senta Shiken, and an exam managed specifically by the school is a Niji Shiken.
If a Japanese student completed high school or was going to complete high school and then was like, I'm going to UCLA. Did they just send their stuff over, and then for like foreign admissions, UCLA is probably like, all right, well, I mean, clearly you don't have the same things you have to go through to get into here, but they just kind of comparatively assess your career.
Really good question.
As a student.
I don't know the answer.
What if an American's like, I'm going to the University of Tokyo? Like, do you got?
I think you have to take the entrance exams.
But do you have to go there to take them, or can you do it like remotely online?
That is a fantastic question. I didn't come across that. But I guess I would not be surprised if maybe you could take it online, but it would probably, there'd be a lot of like, I would think like security measures like around it. I'm just thinking like making sure that you're taking it and you don't have
samurai standing behind you the entire time.
Right. Exactly.
The blade at your throat.
Exactly. So, national universities are supported by.
No, it's not.
What?
It's a mascot with a baseball bat.
Oh, there you go. That's
the
even
school
better.
Mascot is behind you.
He's
tap,
just like
tap,
hitting
tap.
the bat in his hand. Yeah.
5 minutes left. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So, national universities are supported by the central government. Public universities are supported by the prefecture or municipal level governments.
Makes sense.
So students registered in undergraduate programs are granted bachelor's degrees, which take 4 to 6 years to earn. Graduate institutions grant master degrees, which take 2 years, and doctoral degrees take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, and professional degrees take 2 to 3 years.
Makes sense.
Around 10% of undergraduate students go on to some sort of grad school. So grad school is not necessarily super popular. I think it's more popular to go immediately into getting a job.
Yeah, I mean grad school, does it break down in similar ways to our grad school here? Just in terms of like what people are studying? Because I know you don't have what the percentage is.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound too far off. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think the majority of people, and I'm not speaking specifically about going to doctoral school, but just graduate school.
Yeah.
From what I read, the most popular thing to study at graduate school, at least for men, is engineering. And the sciences are really up there as well. So those are some of the degrees that people kind of tend to focus on for grad school. In 2010, there were 86 national universities, 95 public universities, and 597 private universities in Japan. National universities tend to be held in more prestigious regard than private or public institutions. This has its historically tied to elements of like the elite leaders of the country being trained at these universities. And some of these universities are like some of the most popular ones. It's University of Kyoto and University of Tokyo.
Are they funded well?
Yeah, I think they're funded by the government.
Right, but so are like American universities to
a
degree.
Yeah.
And most people would rather go to a private school, or at least private schools held in higher esteem.
So it's really, so private schools are not as held in as high of regard as the national universities. Obtaining a degree from a distinguished university is essential in order to obtain a position at a significant Japanese company or international corporation that is based in Japan.
Hey, you can't work 70 hours and live on the train here without having a 4-year degree, buddy.
Right. So also there are certain companies, in particular the government and big Japanese corporations, that limit their recruitment to those who graduated from the most regarded universities.
Sure.
So because of this, it's kind of, it's so important to get into a really great university, because that can influence whether or not you get a really great paying job after school. So, because it's so competitive to get into the right school, some students, they won't get into their first school of choice. Mm-hmm. So some do choose to go to another school, but others decide that they're not going to go to school anymore, but others decide they're going to take the tests the next year. And those students are referred to as ronin. So, the samurai who didn't have a leader, so like they spend their they spend at least an entire year studying to take the exam again. Mm-hmm. In 2011, the amount of ronin who took the national exam was 110,211 compared to 422,421 high school students.
Okay.
The name of the...
Wait. 400,000 and change high school students, graduating high school students, right?
Yeah, seniors.
In Japan, period?
Yes.
What's the age scale or graph in Japan? How many old people are in Japan?
I think there's
small.
a lot. I think there's a lot of old people in Japan.
Yeah, because Japan is, what's their population? Let me throw down 60 million.
Yeah, something like that. It's up there.
That's a small percentage of the people in the country.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
Should we at some point talk the next romance episode that comes by? Should we talk about the crashing birth rate in Japan?
Well, yeah, I think that's definitely something we can talk about.
Oh, did I say 60? Times 2, 120 million people.
Jeez,
in Japan.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that does seem really low.
Do a lot of people, here's a question that didn't fit into higher education, do a lot of people not go to high school?
I think so. I found, I think there's it's around 80 or 86% go on to go to university. There are vocational schools in Japan too, but they're not as popular to go to. The name of the school that students go to for these exams is Yobiku. So it's similar to Juku. It's a cram school. And like I said, a lot of seniors go there, but there's even more ronin who attend them. So according to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology...
We got to shorten that up.
MEXT. MEXT. That's what it's called.
MEXT?
Yeah.
Okay.
The percentage of Japanese that attend higher education school in the 18-year-old age group was 80.6%.
Huh.
With 52.6% of students attending a university, 4.7 going on to junior college, 0.9 going on to College of Technology, and the remaining 22.4 going on to correspondence school, like an Open University of Japan, a remote study university.
Sure.
And then I just wanted to mention something else that I've come across, and I actually did experience in Japan. A lot of students, because it is so competitive just to get into school, once they get there, they don't study that hard. They don't go to classes.
Huh.
They just need to graduate. And schools don't want to fail you. And like if you're really not doing that well, they may have you repeat a year, but schools hate having to do that. So many students like don't study, don't show up to class. And I ran into this when I was like taking classes in Japan and like in class with like other students who happened to be Japanese. There were students that just never showed up to class.
Well, we have that in American colleges too.
Yeah, I know.
But you don't usually like finish.
Right. You do fail then.
This whole thing is a racket then.
Yeah, because they're like, well, I got into the school of my choice. So
and the college is like every student is, 4 years times X tuition. Every student represents X amount of yen, and we don't want them to get out to leave school because we don't get that yen,
right?
That precious yen. So we just punch it out. Bam, you got it. Bam, you got it. Thanks.
And then they just go right into a cushy job, because like there's prestigious companies who are hiring from that specific university, and lots of companies will hire a student before like final grades are even available. So I mean, they're not looking at grades.
Well, I mean that can happen too.
Yeah.
Here, but
so yeah. And there are other factors involved. Some students, it's like, well, I didn't get into the school of my choice, so then I'm gonna therefore not work very hard. And then there are some faculty so this is sometimes referred to as the term of leisure lands. Like it's like easy to be in college. It's not very academic.
Sounds good to me.
And there are some faculty who fall into this too. And like, because they know that their students have this attitude, they're like, well, I'll just focus more on my research and I won't care so much about teaching. So
everybody is just going through the motions of attending college.
Yeah,
Japanese
it's
college movies probably suck.
Yeah, right.
Van Wilder is just like, yeah, party, whatever. I'm gonna watch the McNeil News Hour.
Right, exactly. So, it's a little different than being in the States for sure. So,
wow.
Yeah. Moving on to Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? So we've already, I think, mentioned most of this. But I just want to mention really quick, the restaurant that Usagi and Ro go to is called Parla. Well, it's Parlor Kuma. Kuma means bear. And we see a cute cartoon bear on the window. And
somebody's in charge of. Somebody's like, go wild,
right?
And then somebody gets to like do whatever they want with the cafe.
Exactly. Usagi and Ro are both drinking something green, and I think it's definitely melon soda. That's definitely what it is. And then of course, Usagi gives Ro a photo of Ami eating a hamburger, which is really not flattering at all. Thanks, Usagi. My Heart is a Kaleidoscope, where we talk about fashion in Sailor Moon. What the heck are they wearing? We see Mamoru and Rei on a date.
Mamoru's got that faux turtleneck thing going on.
Yes, he totally does. It's
or mock turtleneck.
Yeah, it's like a dark green, and then he's got light green slacks and like a brown suit jacket. And then Rei is wearing some like it's almost like a peach like suit, like it's a suit jacket and skirt and then like a purple purse. So I mean, I feel like the colors don't really go together with either of them, but hey.
What happens to their accessories when they transform?
Oh, like what they were wearing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, their clothes transform, but like their purse?
That's a really
good
question.
A purse around.
I don't think that they...
Are there a lot of like purses in bushes all over Tokyo?
I like this idea.
Well, Spider-Man's got a, I don't know. It just feels natural to compare Spider-Man to...
Well, because they have secret identities.
To Usagi, because they're both teenagers who are in high school, who are insecure. Yes. And I bet Naoko Takeuchi's a big Spider-Man fan.
I could see that. I could totally see that. I think we should, going off of your idea, I think we should do some photoshopping and just show some purses and bushes.
Right. Just just in a park.
Yeah,
hung
exactly.
up on a branch or at the bottom of the Tokyo River. Or
right.
Like
Maybe they'll remember to go back and get it later, but maybe not.
Just a smart clutch, or a handbag. Yeah,
exactly. Usagi's wearing one of her favorite repeat outfits for the cafe scene. She's wearing her blue jumper with a sleeveless white hoodie and her crescent moon pendant.
Right.
And then Ro is wearing their boy uniform for their school, which is just blue slacks and a white button-up shirt. So that's it for the fashion for this episode. And now we are at Villain Gauge. We rate a baddie 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. So we have Boombo.
Yeah.
You've already talked about, and I liked the way that you described him. He kind of, he's either a fish or reptilian or something. I feel like he's like a reptile robot,
Yeah.
But it's like weird. It's like, what were they going for? And then like you said, the Swift's army knife arms. So I looked up his name and what it could be, and I think this is a bit of a stretch, but I don't know what else it could be.
Why not?
His name, Boombo, is a variation on the term for stationery supplies, which is Boombo-goo. On closer inspection, if you look at his hands, the Swiss Army knife hands, one is a scissors and one is a compass, like you use for math.
Sure. Like you get in a higher featured Swiss Army knife.
Right. So I think it's a bit of a stretch, but you might be able to think of those things as being stationary supplies. And then he throws razors out of his mouth too, which could be, if you have like a straight edge knife or something like that. But I think it's a bit of a stretch.
Could it be just because it's clearly a Swiss Army knife? Could it be studying supplies though as well? Because Urawa wants to study, right? So he's got a compass, he's got scissors, he's got like school supplies.
Yes. See, I think they made that jump. But then they decided to, instead of calling it school supplies,
we've got a gladiator fishman robot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're done. But guys, the concept's not that. We're done.
We're done here.
Listen.
Also, we can make him bigger and tougher, so
yes.
There you go. Yeah. And doesn't the razors, don't they start as electricity? Because it seems like they started as electricity and then they turn into razors.
Oh, I thought that they were like shuriken, but I think it's just the angle when because they cut into the tree, and I think they're just like square, because they have a they have a hole in them, but so does shuriken sometimes. I don't know. I just thought they were just like razor blades, like you put in an old time razor.
Yeah, exactly. So okay. And he had, of course, the yellow crystal inside of him, which Ami ended up with.
Yeah.
I am going to give him 3 out of 5 dark stars.
Yeah, I hate to do the same as you, but I'd have to go 3 as well. It's hard to rate him because I kind of want to give him a bump just because he's the first Yoma to turn on their master.
Well, that was really cool. I did like that.
But it's hard to rate him. You get this with all the human Yoma. It's hard to rate him outside of his human counterpart as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, I got no problem giving Game Sen a 3 because, you know, Grandmaster Joe's is a bit of a prick.
He is.
But it's, yeah, I mean, we just got to know this little psychic kid.
I know.
You know, going around Christopher Walken and everybody, and then now he's gone. And the design is just really busy. I don't hate it, but there's just a lot going on.
There is.
You can't have this. This is another problem. The girls have to win all the time, so it's hard for like a monster to really get as much as they can out of the fight. I would compare it to wrestling Hulk Hogan back in the day.
Right.
You can't win, but you have to put on like you got to take him all the way to the edge. You know, 2 3/4 of a second pin before his shoulder goes up.
Right.
And so I always forget her name, and I should just get it tattooed on my arm. Photo picture flower.
the Yoma who came out of the camera.
Photographer Yoma. Yeah.
It was like Cameron.
Cameron.
Yeah.
It's like the rapper.
It's really
I do this
dumb.
every show.
Yeah.
It's dumb, but like that was a 5-star Yoma for me.
Oh,
because,
she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not that.
No. Yeah. And you do have to. I think you're right to a certain extent. Like you kind of have to think of like the whole show.
Some good, some bad. It kind of cancels it out.
Yeah.
And so I'd say a 3.
Okay. Fair. All right. So now we're at the part where we rate the episode 1 to 5 roses, 5 being the best, and we share our English titles. So I'm going to give this episode overall 3 roses. We do get a little bit more development for Ami, and we get to meet this other character, and he's kind of a love interest for her, and I think that that's really cool. I did also like that Usagi is playing matchmaker for a big portion of this, and she's having a lot of fun with that. But I'm gonna go with 3 overall.
I got to do 3 too. This one's right down the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like maybe if he was like gonna stick around and we're gonna see more from him, you know, maybe it would be a little higher, or you know,
there's just no. I mean, it's a weekly show with a weekly cast, and there's no real point in giving a lot of cool stuff to the guest star because they're not coming back.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how cool playing in the rain, you know, piano guy is. He's not coming back.
Right.
So yeah, we get an interesting character, I think, and a interesting ally in Urawa, but you know, he's gone. So
right. Right.
Yeah, just kind of a 3 for me.
Okay. So my English title is "Watch Out, Ami! Deadly Stationary."
Don't stay stationary.
Okay. That's better. That's better.
Do all of yours have to start with "watch out" character?
I know. A lot of mine do. I got to work on that. I promise you the next one won't be "watch out." Okay. I promise that.
Okay. Mine is Swiss Army Boy.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Next episode, we're talking about episode number 28. Koi no iratsu usagi to Mamoru ga seiken in Japanese. The painting of love, Usagi and Mamoru get closer, the English translation, and the English title, An Artful Attack.
An Artful Attack. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like maybe their English titles are getting slightly better. I know, right?
Painting blue.
Painting, ooh.
Blue period.
Oh.
I'm giving it away.
You are.
All right, wait for next week.
Yes. Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Star Wars.